but not every psychic necessarily prefers even to be a medium. It is an enormous undertaking. But I remember hearing stories from my mom when I was a little boy. Actually, I'm thinking back even further. She told me when she was pregnant with me, she used to hear spirits and noises in the house when she was alone, waiting for my dad to come home from work. So it seems that even in some sort of spiritual gestation, I was bringing spiritual activity with me into the earth plane. I remember becoming quite cognizant of it when I was a little boy, and I was able to seal spiritual activity or shadows go across to the room, and it used to freak my brother Steve out a lot. We were only a year apart, and I remember one night in particular, we heard the energy fields come into the bedroom. We shared a room when we were little kids, and he turned on the flashlight to see what was going on, and as the energies approached me, because our little dog Heidi was barking, you could see my skin indent from being touched by spirit. I realized very early on that they were indeed making contact with me. I've lost a lot of people in my lifetime that I loved very much, but I understood pretty quickly I didn't lose them, and that love is eternal, and that was the bond and the glue that held us all together. All those I have loved since my great-grandmother, who was my mentor and trained me as a little boy to be the psychic I am today. Having her, I still have her tarot deck from 1902, but they're all, again, my satellites in the heavens. They work through me. So all these spirits, which are sometimes called ghosts, are accessible, which ultimately is of great comfort, because you understand that everything is eternal. So I made it my business ultimately to further my understanding of the gift. Realizing that the same place that my artwork comes from just comes through me. It's a divine channel of energy field. The spirits were coming through me as well. And again, it's serious stuff. I know there are a lot of people out there nowadays that have are suggesting that perhaps they'd all like to be mediums or have this particular gift rather. I would say be sure that that's what you want, because once the energy fields are turned on, I haven't found it possible to turn them off, but I have no desire to. So I've been able to do some wonderful work for my clientele. Just this week, it's been amazing what's come through. A gal pining for a guy that she misses so much. Their favorite song comes through. His desire to really have made it as a musician comes through. Their love transcends. When I get these names, the foods that people love, some of the things they miss, the pets they reunited with, it's shocking, it's beautiful, it's eternity. Now, even to the uninitiated, spirits make themselves known to all of us, so it's not particular to psychics or mediums. Those that you love are available to everyone, to all of you, to you too. Those that do this for a living seem to be able to just turn the switch on a little bit more brighter. But I must say, in preparation for this particular video, even last night, I had no sleep. It seemed to have rustled the energy field of the spirit realm. It seems to have agitated the vibrational field. My father-in-law, who frankly has never come to me in the theater of dreams or in spirit as of late, I can't remember when he has, but he did last night. In fact, so did my own dad, and he's alive. That's why you have to sometimes be perceptive as to what indeed is the theater of dreams. When is the theater of dreams being used as a vehicle for the spirit world to access you? And when is it, though, a chemical reaction in your own brain? You can't fool yourself. So ultimately my point is that it's a huge responsibility, because you have to be prepared for anything that will come through, and you have to be quite clairaudient and clairsensitive and clear. So I mean, it's one thing when I've heard some mediums say, well, are they giving you a white rose? It means that they love you. Well, that's great. But it takes a whole different sort to be able to sometimes say, you know, Aunt Edna wants you to, or would like to know why your wedding dress is still in the Volvo when it should be archived up in the attic somewhere. So when you're accessing the spirit world, you can be quite surprised by who can come through. Not always what you had anticipated. Pets. Children that have never descended into matter but were lost to time, and sometimes that can create great sorrow to think, well, I lost this child, ultimately to discover you didn't. You created this child, and it exists in the heavens. This little one never has to be, I hate to say it, but tainted by the mundane world. And others who find the world a loving place do indeed descend into matter. One of my specialties as a psychic is being able to put my hand on the stomach of a gal and know the gender of the baby as the energy is starting to manifest. It's quite unique. The spirit realm. Those that descend in from matter and those that indeed ascend into heaven. I would never do this work if it kind of even spooked me out. It's not eerie, and it shouldn't be. It's a gift from God, and in this new age, we are being privy to the assessment of the spirit realm like never before. It's not like eons ago where it scared anybody. It's not supposed to. It's all about the transcendence of love. That's why I do it. So, here in this 120-year-old Victorian, which my wife and I bought specifically because the house was haunted by a wonderful spirit. Haunted is not really the right word, but occupied by spirit. It's interesting. There are sounds happening around me while I'm saying this. I have to often warn my clients in advance. The chandeliers or lights will shut off and on during certain sequences when discussing spirits, so they're quite active lately. Anyway, that said, the spirit of this house is a good one. And I remember when Newsday had interviewed me years ago, they asked me who I believed it was, and I said, I'm convinced it's Rose. Many weeks later, I got a letter from a gal in Malvern who said, Daniel, you don't know me, but I read the article in Newsday, and I used to have tea with Rose 30 years ago on the 3rd floor of your home. She was very kind. I knew she was. That's why me and Nancy bought this house. So, being as the spirits seem to be quite active right now while I'm discussing this, let's do a read. Okay, so let's see what the spirits have to say today. So obviously they're around, they're making their presence felt. There's a lot of sensation that this camera's not picking up, but maybe that's a good thing that we don't have all the EVP and ghost-busting paranormal equipment going on right now, or maybe it would be quite illuminating. Okay, so the vibrations say this. Okay, Daniel's getting in the zone. And as I do, like I've done since I was a little boy, I allow myself this vibrational field to access the spirit realm. And as I said before, since my second revision of my hip, which as you know I've heard it recently, but I had a cadaver bone in my leg. As a result of my recent fall, though, what it seems to have done is shattered up the energy, as we said before, agitated the vibrational field, which in a way, as pathetic as all of that is, it's helped the spirits to make themselves more aware. Or that we be more aware of them. Here's what comes through. Here's what comes through when we speak of the spirit realm today. Number one. Okay, the vibrational field is something to do with, I don't know if it's a message specifically to me maybe. It suggests healing, self-healing. It's what those on the other side want from us quite often. They don't pine so much for us that they want to pull us into the vibrational field of the heavens. Sometimes their greatest joy is live your life and be happy. That's what they want for you. We'll all be there soon enough, all of us. But until we are, the greatest gift you give them is loving your life. So it's interesting that they put this vibe through. By the way, this particular painting, the priestess in this painting has a crown of seashells collected in Sanibel Island. All my siblings and my parents, my two parents, my siblings, we collected all these seashells. I've lost half my family since then. But we all collected the seashells that are in this piece. That's very telling. Okay, number two. The vibrations say this. I like it. Luck. It's the heaven's way of saying, we produce that for you. I call this painting Frogs and Filters, but I've always really meant it to represent good luck. So it's the spirit realms reminding us that, you know what, if you ever heard the term guardian angel, the Elohim, the spirits that watch over us, I mean, there's many different choirs of so-called angels, but that's what they are. That's who they are. They mix with us. They try to bring us luck. So, I mean, they can't always. They can't answer every prayer for us. They're not God. But more than often, they seem to be suggesting right now is they're trying to do right by us. That matters. You know, sometimes when people say to me, Daniel, I don't want to speak to that one that you're accessing right now, well, that one has business. That one wants to speak to you. That one wants to bring some resolve or resolution to something. The final vibe that you obviously saw flew out of the deck. Says this. You know, it's weird about this piece of Charlie Chaplin. It's very snowy out there right now. This is a very snowy week. But, I guess we're both wearing a lot of eyeliner, me and Charlie, right now. It should be a silent film. But I noticed this morning when I came down the stairs, the deck was completely sitting still on the table. Only one card had flipped over and fallen to the floor. This one. I'm not sure what Charlie Chaplin's trying to say. It could represent our parents, grandparents, or people from another generation. Not from antiquity, necessarily, but just from a few generations ago. Those that you have to make a good impression on, be a credit to. Your parents, your grandparents, those that are the matriarchs and the patriarchs of your family, that want you to be the best that you can be, and a good expression of them. But please never think that any particular psychic or medium is any special gift that you don't have. You're connected to the ones that you love because they love you. Anyone can do it. It's a huge responsibility, and that's why some people do it for a living, because not everybody wants to do it. But they're all around you. And they love you dearly, and they're there to protect you, and it's eternity and love that transcends, that bonds us all together. So be loved, know that you're loved, and more importantly than anything else, love everyone else now, because life is short. So be kind to one another, love one another, rather than have to access them one day and resolve something. Do it now. Let people in your life know now that you adore them.